Today we're going to be talking about the shipment screen. And in the shipment screen, there are quite a few things that you can customize on here through your settings in a global settings. For example, your PO numbers, if you don't have all those, you can get rid of those so you wouldn't be seeing them. Intermodal, if you don't use containers, we'd be utilizing the intermodal feature. We can hide that as well. And things like your check digits, different types of trace numbers, all things like that are all different settings, including EDI. So today, since we're starting from the beginning, if we happen to have EDI and a 204 coming in, it would automatically populate into the shipment screen. And if I just click on this yellow button right here, I could see the 204 that was offered, when it expires, and once I accept this and ready to dispatch, I can automatically see that it's accepted, and it can send a 990. Okay, going down the field, so these are just trace numbers in here that you can put your trace numbers in. If we go over here to this section right here, this drop down are the salespeople. So to see or to add salespeople, it would be a button in the setup area. So going over to priority, what your priority is, and you can add the different types of priorities that your company has. The load number, so once we actually create this order and we create a load, whether we're putting a driver on here or a carrier on here, we'd have a load number that automatically populates. That is a hyperlink that we'd be able to click on it and go directly to that load from the shipment screen. The direction, head haul or back haul, we'd be able to see. So if we added this in the dispatch screen, we'd be able to see both head haul and back haul at the same time, and we could run reports on it to do profitability reports. The business code has been used by different companies for all different types of things. You could use this to designate, what kind of a business code it is, whether it's brokerage or intermodal, or you could put names in here. You could do all sorts of things just to separate your shipments. Caller name and phone number, obviously, are in there. Now, again, if you happen to have your containers setting on, you would be seeing intermodal. If you don't, you wouldn't see it. And we would just have on here our drop down, different empty drops. This is also a setup feature that shows you what is populated in for different empty drops that you currently have, and container number. All right. So if we scroll down, and I'm going to scroll down here, we can go ahead and see our more kind of trace numbers, our pickup and delivery numbers, our pickup and delivery. This says at, and we have the time that it's at, and we know whether it's central time or central or eastern or mountain from what our consignee or shipper is. So if I changed our consignee or shipper, it would change the time zone here. If I said this is between two times, just by simply clicking on it and typing between, you can see automatically populates another field. Okay, so going down, when we're looking at this, if I change this and I just type in C, I could change this to, let's say, crunch pack, and it automatically populates this data in. And you can see once it populates that data in, you can see I could also add a quick add, whether I want to quick add a consignee or quick add a shipper, and it would automatically go into a client's profile table. If we want to be a lot more detailed and put a whole lot more information in, we could do that as well. Now everything that you're doing here involves security on it, so if you don't want dispatchers or people to add, you could put a lock on that as well. Now looking over here, you can see I purposely have a red and a green check mark. A red check mark, if I hover over, this particular client here is integrating with PC Miler, but if you had Google Miles or any other type of mileage service that you integrated with, you can see that it automatically validates, and this is a validated from PC Miler. Now if we look at this over here, we can see something's wrong with this and it's not validating, and this would cause issues with mileage and things like that. And so this was a good example of showing that we need to do something to fix this for the future, so it's validated. Alright, so going down on here, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. We could see required equipment. So required equipment is just if I go over here and I drag over, this is just a setup. So for equipments we have set up, and we can go ahead and add whatever we want for required equipment. Once we've set that up, we can have this and we have check marks on that. And also just kind of another note too, I'll scroll back up here. When we are doing the business codes right here, like I said, this could be pretty much anything that as a setup. And if I scroll over here, we do have setup areas that's in Exspeedite that you set that up as. Now if we keep on going down here, we have dispatch notes, so this will populate over into the dispatch screen, and then we have over here, this is everything that's kind of rolled up. So we can see our distance that's rolled up, our pallet count, items, and everything here is, and what I mean by rolled up is if we have 5 or 6 different commodities here, it would add it all up and we'd see that the roll up of that in gray here. The emails, so depending on how you want to set up your email, if you do your email and invoicing, and again, this is also a setting, you'd set that up, and when you invoice out, it would automatically go to that particular client, that bill to client. Reefer on or off, if you have reefers, and hazmat. Alright, the notifications is if you have this set up here for a client, and I'll go ahead and look at this, and I'll bring over a client right here. I can just maximize this. Down below here, and you can see this also populates over in this area too. But down below here you can see, you can check on here, arrive shipper, arrive consignee, depart shipper, and depart consignee in the date format. And by setting that up per client, it will automatically update that client of where the shipment is at any certain time. Okay, so shipper, consignee, or bill to on that. Now keep on going down on this, and then this would be the dates that populate in. We have the commodity. If I want to add another commodity, I could do that. Do a drop down of the commodities. Okay, and we could add pallets. There's pallet tracking program here in Exspeedite as well. Hazmat and any UN number that's associated with this. Now that's all set up in your commodity area, so if you already have some commodities set up, you can import that in, or you can just simply add them on the fly. History just kind of tells you what we've done so far. and stops also tells you what we've done so far. So far we're still just entering this in, so we don't have that. Any attachments for imaging, we can simply add. Now we could add as many attachments as we want, but depending on the type will dictate whether we send it to the client or not. So if I bring over now a setup for that, I'll just kind of go back on here and we can see anything that's of the bill of lading, then we can go ahead and automatically have that populate over to the client, and when you do the invoice it'll automatically send that as well. Okay, and then when we email, we'll also be able to see a kind of a tracking of how we emailed it. So that's the front page of this shipment. Now, if this particular client had, this built to client had auto rates set up to where for this particular client it, you know, per pallet or per shipment or per mile or what have you, but there's a million ways to auto rate. If that was the case, if I click on this billing tab, it would automatically populate the auto rate, including you know, a matrix set up for your fuel surcharge that you automatically have done through the DOE, things like that. This particular client doesn't have any of that set up, so we could manually add that in. And once we do, then you can see it'll automatically populate in here. Now, if this is a 204, 204s usually have the mileage and the total usually already populating in. So if that's the case, then you really don't need to do anything. And if you look at this, it'll automatically have a link as well to the shipment code. And just for a light overview, that is basically the shipments.